We've got near peak pricing here at the Disneyland Resort. In the middle of this Halloween season, will we see near peak crowds? Join us as we take a complete tour around the entire park, every land and every attraction. This is our State of DCA report. This is FreshBaked. All right, State of DCA, my favorite. I love doing State of DCA reports, State of Disneyland reports. I'm looking forward to this. I'm expecting a bit of a busy day today, somewhat busy at least. And actually, as it turns out, we've got quite a long day ahead of us today. For whatever that's worth, we're going to be here shooting this DCA report, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm heading back over to Disneyland to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Today is the first day of Magic Key previews. I don't know how I'm going to be able to concentrate on this afternoon, but we're going to do our best, and we're going to start with a trip down Buena Vista Street for a little vibe check. And this vibe check is coming to you on a Monday afternoon. It is 11:37 as we begin this show. It's about 78 degrees right now, which is unseasonably warm, my guys. We just had a Santa Ana blow through here, and that always brings up the temperatures by about 10 or 15 degrees. So it's gonna be into the 80s today here in the end of October. But as for the vibe here on Buena Vista Street, some good energy. It's a little quiet, but there's good energy. I feel like there's a little bit more happening here, a little bit more movement and excitement on this street than we saw 2 weeks ago. Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's people coming in. These are park hoppers also. It's, as I mentioned, now 11:38, so we're getting some of that crowd coming over from Disneyland right now. And I'm listening to the Hollywood soundtrack, but I'm also listening to the sound of Halloween coming out of the speakers too. Like, raise your hand if the Halloween season ends after you do all your haunts and stuff. Like, I don't feel the Halloween vibe this late into October. I haven't felt it for 10 or more years. Oogie Boogie and then whatever haunts I do after that pretty much signals the end of the season for me. So I have a hard time picking up that Halloween aesthetic when I come to the parks these days. I don't mind picking up that aesthetic of the Carthay Fountain, which is operational. I think whatever it is that was wrong, they may have fixed it because it's been working more often than not. And there is a bandstand set up. So perhaps they figured out whatever it is that they needed to figure out. By the way, park today is Tier 4. Today is a Tier 4 day. It's purple. And that's about $180 a day, which for me personally, I feel like anything above the 165 number is like higher tier. There's like Tier 0 or Tier 0 and then the rest. But we're in Tier 4, 180, so this is the higher end of the spectrum. We're now into the upper range for a Monday, which is interesting. They're starting to price that in a little bit on some of these Mondays. So I am expecting things to be busy, but not as busy as you might expect. By that I mean, there's Peter. How ordinary! That was a surprise, running into Peter. Also, Kitch was here. We had a little conversation. They were here filming a follow-up to their Disneyland breakfast video. They're doing a DCA breakfast video. So stay tuned for that on Ordinary Adventures. I highly encourage you to do so because they make the most beautiful videos. I watch them and I'm in awe of how talented they both are. It's fantastic. So Ordinary Adventures, guys. As for us, we are still here on Hollywood Boulevard. And that's a pretty decent looking crowd right here, guys. It's kind of happening a little bit. All right. Before we head to the back lot, when I was talking to Peter and Kitra, I noticed that the Five and Dime did a set, but they walked in. I didn't get any video of it, but I'm curious if that's a new thing or not. Have you guys seen that before? They didn't bring in the car. They just walked it in. I'm like, that's kind of, I don't think I like that. Not very much. Anyway, let's go to Hollywood Studios. Arriving here now at 11:57. And this too feels like it might be a little bit more, I mean, it's always dead right here every time you come through here because they don't have the kiosks up at all and everybody's looking for shade on a hot day, but decent intensity here. We'll do our first recon check at Mike and Sully's to the Rescue, which presently has a 45-minute wait, which is actually quite a bit more than I was expecting to find. I was expecting something in the 30-minute range. And look at that. Lightning Lane is all the way back here. Oh my. Stacked. This is dirty, you guys. I don't like the looks of that at all. I don't like the looks of that Lightning Lane queue, and I'm sure I'm not gonna like the looks of the standby queue that goes with it. So that 45 minutes is most likely, yes, people are bouncing. Oh my gosh, they are passing because it's full. What do they do? You guys, what do they do when it's full like this? That's the back of the queue right here. Oh my gosh. Monorail. This is a heck of a no. This is the knowest of no's. I mean, I just asked what they do, but I guess, yeah, you kind of have to. People aren't typically coming out like I am right now, so there isn't usually two-way traffic. So this is the queue right here that I'm in. But damn, that is not a good start. Once more, I have to ask, what is it about Monsters, Inc. that creates such a diabolical situation like that? Because it's a fairly efficient ride system. You know, they can process quite a few guests. It's not as efficient as a proper Omnimover, but it's still pretty good. Now it's got me. Well, I've been starting some Lightning Lane recon sessions of late, and I just found myself asking, what is the right time to hit Monsters, Inc.? You know, I wonder, what does it say right now for the return time? 1:30. It is an hour and a half from now. Where do you have to be in your day to set Monsters, Inc. as your next Lightning Lane attraction for an hour and a half into the future? That's got to be end of the day type stuff, right? It's got to be. Do we have a doomed day ahead of us? And that's going to be like the focus of our show today, because most of the news coming out of the parks right now is across the Esplanade with Tiana's and the train and all the stuff that's reopening. DCA, which by the way, that is a topic of conversation in and of itself. There we go. We're going to miss that, aren't we? The little choreographed ballet that they do here with the cable to connect to the wires. It's the ceremony. Those are the things that I love about Disneyland sometimes. It's the ceremony. Same thing in Finding Nemo. But yeah, so DCA has been fully operational. Like completely operational for months now. For months. I do construction reports every Monday, and I barely ever bring up DCA. It hardly ever comes up. I mean, occasionally I'll get on the fun wheel and see if I can see anything backstage here at Avengers Campus on the other side of Tower of Terror there. You know, I might look for that for the new e-ticket that's coming. They're doing some stuff at the Cozy Cones, which we'll go check out in a little bit, but that's been it. There's nothing happening here. DCA is operational. It's Disneyland that's had all this stuff going down, but it's so exciting. Because in the next, well, starting today, and then for the next month or two, stuff is going to start coming online again. Guys, we're going to be a fully operational park by the holidays. I mean, even Mission Breakout has been fully operational. We had a gantry lift down there for a bit, but it is up and running. Looks kind of light out here, actually. OMG. I was not prepared for this. No way was I expecting to see a 75-minute wait, because there's practically nobody out here in the Lightning Lane queue. It's empty. There's just this collection of guests here. There's nobody inside, nobody in that queue over there, and very few people into the queue proper for Lightning Lane. Let's go take a look at the back side of things. I mean, it's probably going to be full, but it's not 75 minutes full. Yeah. Yeah, they're not even out here in the extended ropes. the rear queue isn't even full. No, it's not. I thought that might be at least full. I mean, they are, looks like they're trying to. They had them run out here for a minute, but you can see there's empty space in that queue back there. So that's not even 75 minutes. That's maybe half that, I'd guess. Now this is though, like that situation we found at Smuggler's Run last week in the state of Disneyland. It could be that they're down a gantry, and so in spite of the fact that there's a light crowd, it's a super long wait. If they're not running, you know, all three elevators, then maybe that would be a reason for it not to be, or for it to be 75 minutes. But unlike Smuggler's Run, we can actually check. We can watch. There goes Alpha. Wow. Okay. I'm getting concerned now. So far it's been a minute and 15 seconds and we've still only seen Alpha. No other doors have opened up. Oh, there we go. Bravo. Bravo elevator is running. That's now at 2 minutes. We're at 2 minutes now. There goes Charlie. All three are running. By the way, that only took 2 minutes. If you ever want to just stop and say, you know what, I wonder, do it. I mean, it seems like a waste of time, like it's going to take forever, but that took 2 minutes. And we were able to determine that all three elevators are working. So, yeah, I would call that 75. Probably closer to 40 or 45 minutes, assuming we don't get a big rush in Lightning Lane. I'm laughing to myself silently because I was just about ready to head into AC for the rest of the Atlanta, and I thought I would check in. 45. I feel like, you ever see Goldfinger? Or no, Goldeneye. You ever see Goldeneye? I am invincible. That guy. Every now and then when I see a situation like that, I think of that scene. FreshBaked to standby is invincible. All right, Avengers Campus is next. This feels actually kind of quiet, if I'm being honest. Calm it down. Yeah, real quiet. Woo. Let's go check Pim's test kitchen to see what's happening. It's lunchtime. It is 12:17 as I record this. I found everybody. I literally found, you could fill the courtyard. You could fill the courtyard that we're just in, well, ish. But that's 100 people in there. That is a very busy, you know what, they're getting out of the heat maybe. But it is lunchtime, it's high noon. So that's a lot of guests. There are tables though. Look, there's two prepping right there. We got some tables being held, it looks like. Very difficult to get a table here at Pim Test Kitchen. Even on a slow day. Oh look, they got a couple of the high tops open up there. There's a table back there, one right here. Wow. Wow. That's a lot, you guys. I wonder, are you allowed to eat here? I've never actually tried. You got some, oh, these are perfect. I love this spot right here. This is my favorite. It's like being at Cafe Orleans. Watch the crowd go by. You can see the show, the Avengers Assemble show when it happens. That's princess parking. What about Avengers Vault? There's actually a little bit of a backup here. Okay, this is tense. It's so strange to see the differences. Like before, I just got done saying how empty that courtyard looked, but then Pim's was bonkers, and this is pretty full. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's full, it's busy. It's gotta be the heat. I think it's gotta be the heat. which is weird because it's not even that hot. I mean, it's hot, but it's not like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, it's not 106 like it was that one time. It's only 82 or 83. This is mild. Okay, so we saw 45 at Monsters, which is higher than I expected. 75 at Mission Breakout, higher than I expected, though they just dropped it to 45. What about Web Slingers? I'm seeing a 50-minute posted wait time, and I think the queue that I'm looking at is going to support that. Oh no, it says 30. I read that wrong. It says 30 minutes. And that seems unlikely given that the crowd is right here. We did this queue 2 weeks ago. It's probably that they're not in the bullpen back there, which I don't think they are. But we got in this queue, right here 2 weeks ago, and it was about a 35, I can't remember now, 35, 40-minute wait. But we did spend 10 or 15 minutes back there in the bullpen. So that you are going to save a little bit of time there. So that could be. It's about, I want to say from this point to the door is like maybe 20, 25 minutes. And I want to say it's going to get worse. If that 30 minutes that is a call to action for web slingers. That is a desirable wait time. That's a bargain. That's a discount. You don't often see 30 minutes. As a matter of fact, I would be willing to bet that if we were to park here for a minute, that queue that I'm right next to right now is going to fill up. And they just bumped it. I don't know if you heard that, but they just called 40. The sign will probably support that. But when we first got here, the back of the queue is here, and it's grown over to here and down this cube there. So it's drawing a crowd. People are joining the Web Slingers initiative. It's interesting. The posted time still says 30. But he called it 40 over the speaker. But let's just see here for a minute how long it takes for them to fill up this queue. And actually, it looks like they didn't use that one little square section back there. They're running it just those two switchbacks by the brick wall, down this way, then that way. It's not time yet for them to open up that square, but they could fill this queue up pretty quickly with that 30-minute posted. Well, I've been posted here for about 5 minutes, and the queue is still growing. People are still adding on to it. And I expect it to grow some more because I just went and checked. I hadn't looked at this before, but Lightning Lane is drawing a crowd also. That's a fair amount for Web Slingers. It's a fair amount. If I see this as a guest, I'm adding maybe 5 or 10 minutes to my wait time, I think. Web Slingers is one of those attractions where it usually is too low. Usually you err on the low side here. Typically, I would say 75% of the attractions at Disneyland, the posted wait time is going to be higher than the actual. But here at Web, it tends to err low for some reason. So when I see a queue for Lightning Lane, I tend to add on that. Whereas, I don't know, Mission Breakout or something else, I might say if Lightning Lane stays empty, you could shave 10 or 15 minutes off the time. It's the opposite here. I feel like if Lightning Lane is full, you're adding that time. I don't know if that makes sense. By the way, I observed while I was just doing that little bit of commentary that the Avengers Assemble show has begun. There's Black Widow. She did the thing. She did the stunt where she, hung from the upper level and looked down upon one of the henchmen. So I guess I have to cancel that commentary that we had a couple weeks ago. We have to call off that argument that Disney is trying to skim a few bucks off the budget by eliminating some of those stunts. I didn't get to. You know what? I should go look. Let's go see if. Well, I don't know if they're doing Captain America or Black Panther, but let's see if he climbs the wall. I didn't get here in time, but no, he did not. He did not climb. Captain America is on set. He's on stage, and Captain America did not scale the wall over there. He came out on stage on the top level. And then one last update before we head out of here. Posted wait time has been bumped up to 35, and now the queue is now stretched all the way down the length of this brick wall. So they're definitely filling us up. That 35 minutes is still drawing guests. We've added, since we got here, this switchback, well, both ends of it, and 2 lanes of the horizontal ones right there. And that, by the way, again, it bears repeating, when you see that and they don't change the wait time, that's bad. That's something that we observed a lot at Matterhorn when I was doing my recent recon there. they would leave the time at 30 or 40 minutes or whatever, and the queue would just grow and grow and grow, and they never added they never added to the wait time. They've added 5 minutes, which I guess, no, that's more than 5 minutes what they've added. But it's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep growing. As long as they keep it at 30 or 35, it's gonna keep growing. If you saw that 30 minutes 10 minutes ago and you still haven't made it, you're too late. Cars land. Next. Halloween decorations, just, I don't even see them now. I just don't even see them. Halloween, what? Okay. Feels pretty busy right here, actually. Feels pretty intense. That's how I gauge things. Can I get around? I noticed I had to do, I went left and then I went right. I had to pause for a second. There we go. Oh, look at that. Well, that ain't right. It says 20 minutes right there on the barrel. But that barrel is very clearly not accurate. What? Empty completely. And yeah, this is maybe, that could be just one rotation. They've got this group out here on the trucks now. You've got groups set up in the bullpens right now. And so when this one's done, everybody in this queue is gonna get into a pen, and they'll be on the third ride. This one plus one more, and then a third one. That's this group. That is 10 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get to your vehicle, 10 minutes to get to start the attraction. Wow. Having said that, Ride Recon at Mater's Junkyard Jamboree might be the most utterly useless thing I've ever done in my life, or I ever will. When it comes time to write the book, to write the Ride Recon book, the Mater's Junkyard Jamboree chapter will just say, go. It's a go. Always. It's always a go. Every single time. I don't think I've ever, I can't remember the last time I said, nah, I wouldn't get in that queue. I can't remember. Which again, as I often say, it doesn't make any sense because it's amazing. Plus the land is busy. There's a big old queue to meet Lightning McQueen in his Halloween costume. It feels really intense here. Everybody's having a good time. 7 deep at the churro cart, or the churro cone. Ice cream, oh, this is kind of light. Okay. There's still, what is happening here? Maybe Walt Disney was right. The cozy cones will never be finished. Not as long as there's imagination left in this world. The cozy cones will never be finished. All right. Yeah, okay, so it's maybe not, I don't know, man. It's pretty standard, actually, is what this is. It's just average. It's standard. Let's go check out Lowe's B8 Cafe. See if this is, oh dear. Oh, it's not as bad as it looked. I just saw a bunch of people standing right here. That's actually not as bad. Well, medium. Again, it's medium. That's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Probably about 20, 30 minutes to place an order there. Meanwhile, the Lowe's return time right now is 20 minutes, 27 minutes. But while you're waiting to do that, go ride Luigi's, right? Or Mater's for that matter. You can ride Mater's in that 10 minutes that you're waiting. But we've already done Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, so let's cross the street to Luigi's Casa della Tires, where I feel like again, this is very standard days so far, and we're seeing a standard 30 minutes right here, right? 30 minutes. Queue is empty. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go in. I love this queue. I really do. I like the music. This is my favorite song. My favorite Luigi song. There's nobody in here. Wow. Okay. Just kind of average, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Found it back. Oh no, we didn't. Oh my gosh. Where is everybody? Okay, so that's not 30 minutes. I don't know the math on this exactly. There is math, but I don't know it off the top of my head right now. But I'm gonna guess maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 rotations here. This might, no, you're gonna have to wait 3. Yeah, so you're looking at 15 minutes probably. Did the math, I did it. And I timed how long it takes, go from launch to launch, how many guests you can get in there and everything. And I wanna say, that's 3 cycles. I want to say it was like a 6-minute cycle. That sounds about right. Maybe 5 minutes. So, that's a good guess. And then you just kind of try to estimate how many people are in the queue there. It looks like about 3 cycles worth of guests. And there you go, 15 minutes. And that's the best part about reconning non-Lightning Lane attractions is that you don't have to worry about any variables like how many people are in the Lightning Lane queue because it changes so much. We'll go to Radiator Springs Racers next. I mean, I kind of, what is it? So it's 2:26. By the way, I should mention, we took a lunch break. We stopped and had some lunch at Lamplight Lounge with Miguel and Janelle, so that you might see a change in the ambiance of what's happening here. The lighting has changed, but anyway. So it's 2:26, 55 minutes posted there. Oh. This feels really, really light. Okay, so we mentioned at the top of the show that this is tier 4. It's purple. We're nearing the top, $180 on a Monday. Normally our observations have been that Mondays have become the busiest days of the week, but that's only reserved basically for those times when Mondays are, this is what we discovered, are tier 0 or tier 1. We're not tier 0 or tier 1. So, it's getting tier 4, so we're getting peak crowd prices today, or something close to it. We did though find the back of the queue, and I don't see. I'm gonna watch up here and see if Lightning Lane is stopped anywhere, but I think Lightning Lane is empty. Yeah, I actually don't mind that queue right now. I don't mind that very much. 55 minutes posted. It's gonna be close to that. This time of day, 2:30 in the afternoon, it's going to be pretty realistic. The posted wait time is usually going to be, at or near what you wind up getting. But I really like that empty Lightning Lane queue. That could be a go. That could be a go right there. A lot of energy though out here. I will say that. It's kind of, I keep waiting for something remarkable to happen one way or the other, but I keep finding the middle everywhere we go. And I think that's a result of the balance that they're creating between the prices and the expectation of what the crowd should be. I said at the top of the show that we were expecting a busy day, but not as busy as you would normally expect given these conditions. And those conditions we're in the Halloween season. It's a Monday. As we mentioned, the aforementioned Mondays are the new Saturdays. But I feel like we're not getting that full effect because it's $180. Dude, that's not, okay, so the observation is $100, $104 ticket is a very attractive price for going to Disneyland, and it's gonna draw a huge crowd. So you do see a reversal, whereas a $200 price is not an attractive price. And so you can see a few people show up on those days because they want to wait for a cheaper price, right? But at tier 4, $180, it's just 20 bucks off. You're almost there already. You're almost there. Tier 5 is 190, I think it is, 190. We're there. Purple tier 4, we're there, man. We're at the top end. Oh, they're just gonna park it here. It's a meet and greet. I thought they were gonna back him all the way down into Cars Land. All right. There you go. All right. Let's go to San Francisco. I want to meet Red now. This is popping. We're no longer in prime time right now for the lunch rush. It's 2:33. Hi guys. Waiting for the next rotation for Baymax. Standard. Because this is just, there's nothing remarkable about this day at all. We'll go check. Aunt Cass, which is, you know what, I'm gonna pop my head in there. We don't normally do this. But I'm gonna bet we're gonna see an empty Aunt Cass Cafe. Lucky Fortune. Oh, no, that's not too bad. Hey, how are you?
What brings you here today, sir?
Doing my thing, yeah. Doing my thing. This is busier than I thought we'd find. I thought it might be almost empty in here. Not bad for standby though. This is only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10-minute wait. Why does that happen almost every single time? I turn the camera on before I start talking, I get a fresh bake, and that's how we open the cut. I'm still waiting for something remarkable to happen. I feel like that kid in The Incredibles right now. So let's go down to Paradise Bay, Watercolor viewing area, crack open the tip board and see what we can find there. It's my favorite part of the journey. Every 2 weeks I get to come down here and take in this scene. Look what they did. Look at. Let's get into that tip board, starting with Golden Zephyr, operating at a 10-minute wait right now, which is about right as I look at it. Oh, wow. Goofy Sky School is at 50 minutes with a 2-hour return time. Grizzly River Run, 30 minutes at a with a hour and a half return time. See, on this one, I would just get in the standby at that point. Guardians is down. They're getting ready to cross over into the Monsters After Dark. Incredicoaster, 30 minutes. We were looking at that queue earlier, and it looked pretty busy down there, but 30 minutes is pretty standard right now. 5:30, that's a 2-hour return time. Whirlwind 20, Jesse's 5, Jumpin' Jellyfish 5, Little Mermaid 30, really? Wow, guys, it's pretty busy over there. It's pretty busy. Luigi's at 35. No, it is not. They bumped that up. It was 30 when we walked in. That was just about 15 minutes ago. It was 30 when we walked in. I said it was half that. And so what they did, they added 5 minutes. Go figure. Mater's is 15. Monsters Inc. is 45 with a return time at a half an hour. See, now there you go. That's when I would be using, right now, that's when I would be booking that lightning lane, I think, is at this point. That's a perfect use of it. It fits in nicely to my, what do you call it? I'm a beginner. I'm a beginner with lightning lane. We're going to talk about that in a second. Radiator Springs, oh, they just closed. We just left there, but it's closed. Slow Symphony is 15. Soarin' is at 50 with a 2-hour return time. Toy Story 50 with a 3-hour return time. And Web Slingers is 30. And a 2.5-hour return time. Wow. Things seem like they're popping here a little bit. At Paradise Bay, you could see Little Mermaid over there. That was the crowd I was looking at. It's all the way down the other side. Got a little bit of lightning lane going on there. And that's actually a pretty common thing at Disneyland, DCA, where it feels busier in the streets than it does in the queues. You know, you're getting discounts in the queues in some cases. but it feels a little bit more busy around here because people are just out here enjoying being in the park right now. It's my favorite kind of folk. I love that. I love that for those guests here at DCA right now. Don't be in a hurry if you can help it. You know, we're talking about Lightning Lane and trying to figure out when the right time is to trigger that call to Monsters Inc. I asked that question when we were there before. Like, that's a difficult one to try to see if you can't fit it in or where you fit it into your DCA day. In the news these days is Premier Pass, obviously Lightning Lane Premier Pass, $400 per person per day to hit Lightning Lane whenever you feel like it. That's, you know, that's a topic of conversation, but I bring that up now because it's triggered in me more urgency, because I've been wanting to do more recon lately on how to, you know, more optimally use Lightning Lane Multipass, the traditional one, the $32 one. And so I feel like I can't evaluate Premier Pass until I know how good or bad the regular $32 Lightning Lane is. So I've been wanting to do more recon. Stay tuned for that. We did a video already that you guys have probably seen. A lot of eyes on that one, where I did like basically my first test, and I don't know, I haven't used or bought Lightning Lane. Hi guys. I haven't you know, purchased or used Lightning Lane basically since it came out. I bought it a couple times just for my own reason, but I never actually did a video on it. I never really studied it or did any kind of recon on it. And so the video we put out, man, I got killed. I got killed, man, because like, you're doing it wrong, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, I know. I knew that going in. I knew I was gonna make some mistakes. That's why I called it I failed. It's right there in the thumbnail. But anyways, I digress. You know, that's gonna be the focus of some of our future episodes coming up, is learning how to optimally use Lightning Lane Multipass. We're gonna give you a strategy for that, and then we're going to be able to say, here's why, or isn't. You know, here's why Premier Pass is good, or why it isn't good compared to that, because there's a huge disparity. Guys, basically the same product with just one, you know, observable difference, and that is, you know, you can go whenever you want. There's no cooldown, and there's no reservation. I guess you can just do it however, you know, whenever you want or however you want, but you can still only do it one time. That's basically it. That's the difference between Multipass and Premier Pass. But for that one little thing, it's $370 versus extra $30 or $400. It's just incredible that product actually exists, that disparity between those two products exists. I just can't get my head around that's how valuable Disney thinks that little difference is. It tells you, for example, how unvaluable perhaps, you know, Lightning Lane is. It's always been perceived as the pay-to-win type scenario, but it's not as great. It's not as great as you think it is, because there are several. There's a lot of limitations, and that becomes more apparent now. Those limitations become more apparent with the arrival of Premier Pass. So I got to do that Lightning Lane recon so that I can tell you, you know, if that's, well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna when Premier Pass comes out at the end of the month. I think it's the 25th or something like that, or the 23rd, I'm not sure. We're gonna spend a day, we're gonna do Premier Pass. I'm gonna put up that $400 and see what happens. Let's get to the rest of Pixar Pier. And that is the single rider queue. Once more, that is pretty standard, pretty average, nominal. Doesn't look too bad, but take a look at that scene. Guys, let's just take a cruise real quick down Pixar Pier. I mean, that looked kind of busy. I'm not gonna lie, that looked kind of busy down there on the Pixar Pier. Let's see if the rest of these attractions hold up. We'll check in on the Incredicoaster. Off in the distance there, you can see they're still calling it a 30-minute wait, but this is what we found when we got here. It's a full queue with a switchback out here on the actual pier. It's going back. There's the top of it right there. So that's healthy, to say the least. I would not call that 30 minutes. Now, it's still going to be fairly brisk. Incredicoaster moves quite well as a queue. So, but they're down here in the expansion area. Obviously, that's all full. Lightning Lane is just lightly packed at the moment. But to call this 30 minutes is probably stretching it a little bit. At least as far as what Disney considers a 30-minute queue. And by that I mean what Disney considers a 30-minute queue is actually a 20, a 45 is actually a 35, that kind of thing. They usually air high. We were talking about that earlier. If they're calling that, that's probably an actual 30-minute queue. I'm not used to them calling that a 30-minute. They probably haven't adjusted. They got to adjust the whiteboard again. Let's check in next on Toy Story Midway Mania. They're calling this one here 45 minutes, which by the looks of things, wow. Okay, first let me just say that, wow, it's been a minute since we've seen this many people out here in the extended queue. It looks bad, right? But you've always got to check. Looks great. This is great. There's nobody in the Lightning Lane. I haven't seen a lot of this in the park so far. I mean, I've seen a few cases just at Lightning Lane. There was hardly anybody in Lightning Lane. There was hardly anybody at Radiator Springs. So folks aren't buying the Lightning Lane today, which means this is not as bad as it looks. If I walked by this queue, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't think so. But I mean, you could probably handle that. Okay, let's see real quick. We're thinking 5 minutes, 6, 15 in there, so 21 or so, and then out here, yeah, man, you could probably do this in about 30 minutes, I'd bet. That's not worse than 45 minutes. And this is one of those attractions that I referenced just a bit ago, comparing it to Web Slingers. This is one where, as long as Lightning Lane stays empty, you can expect to come under the posted wait time. It says 45, I think it said. As long as it stays like that, you're in good shape. You'll beat that 45 at least. Right? This is what I'm talking about. This feels super busy right here. Super, crowded and a little bit intense. It's not incredibly so, but more than a little. But they're not showing up in the queues like you would think. Although that's, oh my God, is that the swinging queue? I think it is. Wow. That's the swinging gondola queue. They've got it out here at 30 minutes right here, but there's no way. 30 minutes is in here. That's 30 minutes right here. Or even just that, oh wow. So we finally may have reached our exceptional point, finally, at Pixar Pier around 15 minutes for non-swinging, which is just about right. I think I've timed this before. That corner is about 15 minutes, although I gotta tell you, just looking at that, I don't get a 15-minute vibe from this. I'd have to measure that again one day. Gonna have to come back here and do a little science on this because it can get real sloggy at times. It can get really, really sloggy, depending on how big the groups are. If you've got groups of 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever, go figure. We've been at this for a couple hours now. Go figure that the busiest attraction that we found today is the Pixar Pier. Just both, I mean, it's not a 30-minute wait. We've seen bigger posted wait times, but they seem like a bargain, relatively speaking. Wow, now that's the most shocking thing I've seen all day. Talk about shocking. Never in my life have I seen a posted wait time of 45. Where do they get that number? Where are they getting that? This is such a standard queue for a medium busy day for Emotional Whirlwind. And they know what this queue is. They know how long that is. That's not 45 minutes. 45 minutes is about where I'm standing. Maybe. That's 30 minutes. That's probably 6 rotations, 5 minutes each. Me getting all frustrated with the posted wait times. That's the thing. I get too intimate. Like I get too invested in this, and I start seeing things. And I'm like, I am offended with your posted wait time. The number 45 shouldn't even exist at Emotional Whirlwind. They shouldn't even have that number on the dial. So Symphony, that looks pretty full up there. There you go. Now you know you've got a little something when the queue is coming down the stairs. You got a little something there, and yet they're calling this 10 minutes. Everything is just so backwards. It reminds me of last week with State of Disneyland, where we couldn't find any sort of consistency. Emotional Whirlwind too high, that one too low. That's not a 10-minute queue. That's probably 3 rotations. I mean, it's not far off. Look at me again. It's like a 15-minute queue. I got to get into Lightning. That's what I need to do. I need to start doing more research on Lightning. Okay, Goofy Sky School. Like, we're rolling, you guys. We're rolling, but we've got to be, because it's almost getting to be that time for us to head over to Disneyland for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but we're not done here yet. Let's go check that Goofy Sky School. Oh, well, that's easy. Closed. So there's nothing to report on here. Goofy Sky School is closed. I'm feeling a brisk wind. I'm shocked that Golden Zephyr is actually operating right now. Do you see that? See the reeds blowing in the wind there a little bit? We just had a Santa Ana the other day. I'm surprised that they're running this right now. Whoa! Okay, this has reached the peak of shock for this day. Look at Little Mermaid. Although they're not using it all up there, but they're down here in the spillover, as it were, the bonus section of the queue, where they have to make it up, but they haven't filled that section up there yet, which is interesting. But they're all the way under the sea down there. We saw this posted at 30. Good gravy. Wow, that is a busy day for Little Mermaid. Is it the heat again? I gotta think that there's something to that. If you can bear it, the hot days are opportunities for you to find discounts at some of the outdoor attractions, I think, because that's pretty consistent. What we're seeing here is the busier attractions seem to be the ones that are indoors to some extent, at least. And there are Lightning Lane guests filing in. And they just walk right in. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to doing some Lightning Lane recon. I really, really am. I'm looking forward to seeing just how bougie that system is, or not. Yeah, they've got that posted at 30 still, and that is, it's not 30. That's one of the most efficient queues you'll ever find at Disneyland or DCA. They've got it at 30. It won't be that, but that's as busy as it'll get at Little Mermaid. Which brings us to Grizzly Peak as we wind things down here. Very, very standard day here, man. Oh, wow. Now that's kind of fun. Nice crowd moving out there on Grizzly Peak Trail. This might be my second favorite part of the journey. I love the chill vibes out here as you walk by Grizzly Peak or Grizzly River Run and Redwood Creek. The music and the kind of calmness, the sound of the river. It's kind of a delight. I love it here. You could just kind of feel and hear the slight decrease in intensity of things. It's like being on the Mark Twain a little bit. Hi. And a modest, okay, that doesn't, a modest 40 minutes is posted here at Grizzly River Run. Very modest. And I'm expressing surprise because where I'm saying that Little Mermaid is busier than it normally should be because it's cool, or that there's a lot of issues that are related to whether or not like people are getting more food inside or they're shopping more because it's hot, but then they're not getting into this queue. They should have a much longer wait time. Yeah, that's showing up out here in the extended queue out here, or not here anyway. Oh. Fantastic. Going all the way back there to the office. They look a little stuck though, don't they? They look a little not going anywhere. They're just kind of posted. I've got to find, I gotta do more recon here. I gotta find time to come here and just get in some of these standby queues so that I can sort of visualize or internalize what it's like to wait in this queue if it's pleasant, because I feel like it should be pleasant. I feel like the vibes here, the sound and everything, in spite of the fact that you're kind of in a long, sticky queue, you got the cool air kind of, you know, because of the water, the sound of the running water, the boats, the raft. I mean, it's got to be enjoyable, right? Like these guys. Do miss those guys right there. There should have been a geyser right there. Get one of these two rafts. I mean, they just went through that big old refurb, replacing literally that spot right there where the geysers were. It was a very expensive refurb. They were updating, you know, upgrading the plumbing there to copper, if I recall correctly, or something to that effect. They were upgrading things that still, I don't know why they can't get those things working, or if they're just choosing not to. What's up, Al? I was just about to head over to Condor Flats and I spotted the mason jars in the trees here with their Christmas ribbons. It is October 21st and they've got mason jars in the trees. They don't, the flies, I don't know if the flies are in there yet. Well, I guess they would have to be, right? They just haven't, maybe they don't turn them on right away. Yeah, they're in there. The fireflies are in there, but they probably won't activate them until the proper season begins, but they're in the trees. That might be the earliest that I've ever seen a Christmas decoration in a park. I mean, we've seen the snow on the castle, but I don't consider the snow on the castle to be a Christmas decoration. It's winter. Right? It's a winter thing, but that extends, you know, it's almost here. You know, we're in the snow season in a lot of parts of the country. But that, you know, the red ribbon or whatever, the red bow that they put on the jars, that's definitely Christmas. But here in Condor Flats, there is a bit of a crowd here developing, a bit of a queue developing back here. Wow, you guys, I'm confused. Consider me confused. I mean, it's not the biggest queue I've ever seen. You know, it often will run around the corner back there, but they've got this 25 minutes. Just unexpected. Another unexpected. I don't think it's 25 minutes. Hey guys, how are you? That 25 minutes is going to draw an incredible amount of people into this queue right now. All those guests out there. By the way, it's not an Oogie Boogie night, right? I don't think it is. I haven't seen any signs out. Normally, when we do these, we're on an Oogie Boogie night, but not today. So we're not going to get that big influx of the 3 o'clock crowd here. And that is our State of DC report. Big wrap up today it's pretty standard. I think that the pricing effect has definitely had an impact on the crowds. Hey guys, how are you? I was expecting to be a little bit more busy considering the season and how close we are to getting to the Halloween season. With that, we'll let the 5 and Dime send us out. I hope you guys enjoyed our show today. If you did, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Join our newsletter. There's a link in the description. Thank you for that. Then follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. FreshBaked.